All right, all right. Happy Thursday. Welcome back. Here we are with our favorite Jack McKeag, John McKeag officially, his person, from Liberty Aid Academy, libertyAidAcademy.org. Check out the classes over there. We're talking about trust the process this week. Trust is the process that we're trying to get through. And actually, we had some questions come in before the show even started. So very exciting. People are looking forward to the show every Thursday night now here from 7 to 8. So welcome, Jack. How we doing? You're on the other side of the world. Good morning to you.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for being here yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, in India, the pilgrims have showed up, and I'm gonna, continue on with the pilgrimage from Mumbai. That's where we are, the big drop-off city where everybody lands, and then we're on to that. Yeah, things are good over here. Got 2 more weeks here, then back to the States, and then back to the usual for everyone. Not that I'm skipping the usual here. I'm still doing it. So thank you, Tim, for that great lead in.
You were mentioning before the show you will get some sand between your toes before you leave there. Maybe see the beach.
Yes, we went to Goa already, and it was kind of, I don't know. I think it might be the nicest place in India. It's a little, it's not the beach where I live in Florida, but it's the beach where I live in Florida is now like cold, and the water's cold, and the and the beach is warm here, and the water is warm. So it's a lot of information to go on a spiritual pilgrimage. It's a lot to process for people. I thought, a little warmth and a little sand and warm water, would help people through that process of, like just the internal process, which isn't easy. So, but everyone has made it here that was, on the list to come. They've all just got here in the last couple hours. So we're off to another place, Mir Baba's tomb, and then, after a week there, going to the beach to process it, and then back to the States. So thanks for asking about that.
Excellent. Excellent stuff. All right. So yes, this was the first question that came in before the show started. D. Howard. Hello. Please tell me how to get an IRS determination letter for a 501c3 status with the Liberty Aid Trust so my trust can apply for grants that nonprofits apply for.
You know, it's not a process that you're going to want to do, basically. Like, you're going to have to follow the same process. And then it becomes a public trust, not a private trust. Private trust means you create it yourself. Yes, you will still have created it yourself, but then you're like, okay, I'm going to go through a statutory agent. I'm going to go through the usual process. I'm going to apply to the IRS. You're not going to get this letter. You see, to say you're not going to get this letter. You already have 501c3 status. Okay. So, you can apply for grants and so on, but you're not going to be able to give them the IRS determination letter because you're outside of that process. This process doesn't have getting that letter, but it still has 501c3 status. So, most churches have this type of 501c3 status because and they are able to get for their real estate, their church, they get property tax exemption. So they're always like, for property tax, they're like, where's your exemption? And not always, but often they're like, okay, where's your IRS determination letter? Well, you could still get property tax exemption without the determination letter. So it's just basically, you're not going to get the determination letter. You're not going to get that D. So that's a good question, but that's why this process seems so, oh my God, to people. It seems hidden.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why the wealthy elite have their power over us, because they don't have the mind control to, be stopped at things like, then I can't apply for grants. Yes, you can apply for grants, and you can explain that I have 501c3 status through 508c1A. I have, also that's, 501c3 status. And so then it's also, oh, I am a non-reporting 501c3 status with the 6033, which is the code of the IRS. So you pull up those two codes, you send it to them and say, no, I'm not required to report or pay the IRS. And so that's the way you would interact with them, by sending them those two rules for that. And in order to get grants, you want to use a trust with like a Christian name, because this is a Christian
Mhm.
loophole. And you explain it to them, hey, this is a Christian loophole because, I'm a Christian. And so you explain that to them and say, that's this loophole is through the convention, and you explain the way I explain it, this is a pact, a compact, a convention with Jesus Christ. And so that's why this organization has 501c3 status as granted by the IRS. And so you're going to have to explain yourself to them. But an explanation based on the IRS code, it should be fine. And so that's the way you do it. You don't give them a termination letter. You say, well, instead of the determination letter, our organization gets 501c3 status through this method, through these codes, and you're going to have to explain it to them. So that's a good question. And that's how you do it.
Excellent.
Oh, Mike is here in India and he's up for the show. All right, you made it. You made it. Oh,
And
Irish Story. What?
and yes, asking if you're still in India. Got a few more weeks on that one. Alex Davidson says that's me asking that question, I believe. When you
Alex, thank you for your support, Alex. Thank you. Thank you,
Mrs. C. Lee, when you
man.
apply for a grant, do you have to state income?
I don't run grants, but there is no quote income, because your
Not
person is
reporting.
not your person is not taking anything to it. Income means what? It means revenue coming in that you have to report. And so revenue is coming into this trust and you don't have to report, right? You don't report. So there is no income. Our organization, our 501c3 organization, trust, right? It has revenue, but it doesn't have income. So,
Mhm.
but you're applying to somewhere, say, getting a grant. And I basically said, this organization, because you're with Jesus Christ, right? You sign a letter, it's not going to get a grant. Basically, is not going to get a grant. Basically, because that's for them, the
Right.
the the creepy creatures. That's for them. They're going to get the grants. But I'm not saying don't apply. Maybe you get it. If you feel like you might get it, and God is on your side, you have reasons. That's the way you do it. Okay. I've never seen anyone get a grant with this trust. You trust in God, and so. But I'm not saying don't do it, don't try. I'm not saying that. You're completely 100% as eligible as anyone else. It's not that you're
Mhm.
not eligible. It's just have an understanding of reality, and don't expect it. That's all I'm saying. But God is on your side, so test that out. No problem,
Um, also put the link in the show there. So that is it, streamyard.com. And that code right there, if you click on that, you can join Jack and myself right here on air, ask your question, give a little testimonial, your experience with the trust, if you've had any, or what you're working on, or what you expect out of it. We'd love to have you up here. So click that link right there in the show and join us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, please do. Uh, Alex, he's always supportive. He really is. He really is. Thank you. And let's segue into Roxy, right? Had just an amazing. She come on. She hit the link. She got. Look at Mike. Wired or wide awake. That's fantastic.
Very nice, John. I had sent you an email a few days ago. I know you're a busy soldier in Christ. I want to do my part and help out some more.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, look, I'm glad you said that. If you mean actions as someone you know if you wrote to Liberty Aid Academy, Tammy will get that email to me eventually, and she looks at things and it as she sends it to me. Thank you for that offer, Irish Lloyd. I'm glad to hear back on the team. You're out there processing this whole thing, and now you're back. I'm glad to hear that. That happens to everyone. Don't worry about it. And if you meant a donation, Jesus Christ Trust on net, you can make a donation through there. And I'm not saying you meant that. And I know you've been wanting to get your actions more with God and help out that way. So, write to Tammy or write Jesus Christ Trust on net. There's a contact email there for you, and you get me that way too. Both ways get to me.
All right.
And so
We have a guest.
well, do we?
Yeah. Let's pull him in, see what's happening. Irish Lord, you're
All
on the air with us.
right.
Hello.
You made it. All right.
I'm here.
Tell us a little bit about your story, Irish Lloyd. Like, tell us the trust
Yeah.
works. Whatever else come up for you, please.
So,
You must be looking for the proof. Wants
heck
to show the
yeah.
proof like you always ask for it, Jack.
That's right. That's right. So, all right. Let's go. That's right. Let's go back a few years here. This is my original declaration of trust. I'm not going to show the documents, of course, for obvious reasons, but I got a little bit of feedback here on my end, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, you might have to
But
turn down your mic. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, but that's gonna be hard to talk.
it sounds good for us. If you, I know it's distracting you, but you sound just fine. I don't hear any feedback. Do you, Jack?
No, no feedback. No feedback on our end. He's like, I turn off my. I don't know what to do. But we're not getting feedback. So you might have to just sort of like tell your story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we'll just listen on our end. He's giving us a silent treatment. Okay. Thank you,
You hit the
Irish
wrong button.
Lord. I
I
mean,
think he'll come back.
if he doesn't come back, that was like, here's my proof. It was like, oh, that's good. Uh, I was going to segue into saying Roxy 2 weeks ago, we had a great testimonial. She come
Mhm.
on here live. And she's like, dude, I want to help you out with your first year of law school. She did make that donation, got it
Wow.
today. And
Wow.
so, yeah, dude. Yeah, like Roxy's a real
Oxy.
deal. I know. I really wanted to say that. And, in case Irish comes back on here, I want to say another thing. I've been asking Dee Dee to do an updated. Yes, sort out
He'll
your
be back.
technique. No problem. You already did. You're like, here's my proof. Boom. Like, I love it, dude. You got right to it. You got
Yep.
right to it.
Here he is. Let's see.
I figured it out. I had YouTube open with this
Yeah.
other platform, and it was jumbling up my thoughts and my hearing and everything. So yeah, original trust. Maybe not the original. One of the originals that I had done. I did a few, and I got really like in a hurry to dive into the process when I first started learning. It's been a few years now. I would say September 2021 was when I really started this. I will admit, unfortunately, I started with the other guy who we will not name. Been named plenty of times, and he glosses over it, and the process that he outlines, it's really just going to get you in trouble. But this process, I found, really speaks to me a lot more. It's clearly defined, it's clearly laid out. John, aka Jack. He's there to support. He does these lives. You can ask him questions live. He and I have texted and called back and forth. We email pretty regularly. I mean, it's there. The proof is there. His personal accounting stuff too, man. Oh gosh, that's a whole nother subject all on its own. I've done some work with credit before I started. Here we go. Before I actually started to get into this and kind of got nowhere really fast. Was dealing with a lot of debt, a lot of things on my credit report, and I got into the personal accounting once he started kind of bringing that back. And I've got some stuff for that here as well, where I got quite a few collections off of my credit report at the time, using those processes. So that I wanted to make like a video testimonial as well, and that was actually what the email was about previously. But hey, this will work too. But we've done like debt validation requests and whatnot, and really gone into challenging these third-party debt collectors who really have no business being involved on the person's credit report in general. And they send back letters pretty much all the time because they don't want any part of this. They don't want to go to court. They don't want to waste the money. They know they're in the wrong. They know they're not supposed to be doing any of this, and yet they're still out there trying to ruin people's lives. And they just let it go. They send back letters basically saying, "Oh yeah, we're not going to collect on this," and they have to come off the credit report. Is
I
what it
love
boils
that.
down to. So it's the real deal. It's a very good process as long as you follow it step by step as is outlined in the process. It'll get you kind of where you want to be. I haven't done corporate credit because I'm in a state where you can't register your trust with the Secretary of State to do that. It's in North Carolina. And I have not relocated yet as I wanted to. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Eventually, I'll get around to it once I do relocate.
You can actually do it in another state without relocating. So you could use an address in the state, but then you get a second address basically. And
Gotcha.
so you get a service, in that state with mail forwarding. So
Gotcha.
and you only do it while you register. You don't need to do it forever. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
say it takes a few months to do, you're going to get a
Mhm.
mail forwarding service, but after you get it all registered and stuff like that, you don't need any more mail forwarding service, because like when you fill out an application for credit, you'll be filling in, okay, this is the address of the trust, but then you're like, this is the mailing address. That'll be your home
Yeah.
address. You know what I mean? So you can still register. They can go look it up. And you can still do corporate credit. So that's a little hack
Okay.
there. All right.
Good to know. And I'll probably jump into that too. Hey,
And
if you want to,
Irish. One more thing. One more thing. If
yeah,
you're not in the classroom, there are a lot of people in there free, right? Our online private forum, and a lot of people are doing this kind of like register your trust elsewhere and stuff. And there are different states you can do it in. They have feedback, which has lower fees, blah 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 blah, blah like that. Have a look in there before you jump into it too. I think. Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna re-go back over like all of my course material and kind of go through the forums and stuff again too, because it's been a while since I've been in the forums. You're right about that. And I'm gonna jump into that too.
Okay.
Originally, I wanted to wait to provide my video testimony until I'd done everything, but I'd rather just kind of go ahead and do it. If you want to shoot me a notary or an affidavit to have notarized, I'll still be happy to get you one of those as well.
You simply write us, Tammy, contact at Liberty Aid Academy, and like, hey, I want to do a testimony. We have an email all set up with like the list and affidavit. It explains the whole little process. So you just write us, hey, I want to do a testimony. Plus, then if you want to, March 1st, we're upgraded courses and stuff like that. There'll be a lot more courses in the bundle, and we'll
Yeah.
have an upgrade fee and one with a testimonial that's lower. So, if you
Okay.
feel like testimonial, jumping back into all the work and the new work and all that stuff, it's a good way
Yeah.
to get back in at a much lower cost point. So
Sounds good. Yeah. Hey, I'll be sure to check that out. I think you said it was March 10th, so I'll be popping
March
in
first,
on
we
March 10th.
switched it to March 1st. So
March 1st.
soon.
Ooh, 2 days
Yeah,
sooner. Okay. All
yeah,
right.
dude.
Very good. Well, I'm gonna leave you gentlemen to it, and I'm gonna jump back on the YouTube side of things.
Dude,
Thanks for
thanks so
jumping
much
in.
for jumping in. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. All right,
All right.
man.
Have
Thank
a
you,
great
gentlemen.
night.
Talk to you
You
soon.
too.
All right. Man, he's been at this a while, and you know, he really come full force when he come in. So you know, and he did a lot and had a lot of success right away, you know, and then yeah, he you know had to get back to work and stuff like that. And here he is again. And dude, thanks so much for coming on. I love it. I love it, right? I mean, people that have been doing this for a number of years, it's not like, you know, something happens later. No, you know, you get back into life or whatever, and then you're like, hey, I want to do this next, you know, like
Mhm.
corporate credit. Okay, great. We're here for it. Whenever anyone's schedule allows, you know, we're here to do help, whatever. But the thing is, it comes with this is, you know, quote, the classroom. That's what we call the online private forum. It's only for students of this school, and they're really all your homies are in there. You know what I'm saying? And they've done all this stuff, so it's by topic. Uh,
Yeah, there he says, "My pleasure. Love being part."
yeah, thank you for really being a part of it by
Yes.
coming on and give your testimonial tonight. I mean, that's really being a part where you're really looking out for other people. Hey, this is real. Everything's cool. Everything works. You know, been doing it for years. Here's my proof. I mean, that's the way to really help out some people. I really appreciate that. I really do. So thank you for that. Uh,
Awesome.
I mean, a testimonial. And I would say, you know, before Irish jumped in, I would say Roxy made good on her testimony. She's not
Yeah.
just the greatest hero in the history, you know, woman out there in all of America. It's like, what? You know, she's not the only one. Dee Dee sent in a testimonial. It'll be going up on our channel. Uh, her story is really like, you know, it's like Roxy's in a different way. She's really somebody that has been doing this work for a long time. She's in a forum helping a lot of people all the time. Dee Dee is a long time you know, doer of this work. She's with God. She's doing everything, honestly, for a really long time. And you know, the devil don't like that, you know what I mean? And she's had some difficulties, and she's had some successes both. One is her home burned down
Mm.
during this process, and she went to where the fire was. uh, and it was really her home that got passed on to her, I think, from her family. And you know, she started doing this trust work and everything, and in the process the home burned down, and she went looking for, you know, home, you know, burned. And so she went looking. She was like, you know, in her room where her, you know, where the fire started, that's where she kept her physical pieces of paper trust that like Irish just pulled up.
Yeah.
And she's, you know, like the whole place is ash, and she's like starts digging through the ash, and she she pulls up the trust did not
Oh,
burn,
wow.
right? The home burned, but the piece of paper that were her trusts that she signed with God, it didn't burn. So yeah,
Wow.
she's going through her trust. She's like, let's not call this a bulletproof trust. Let's call this the fireproof trust.
Fireproof. Yeah.
Yeah. And so literally, you know, this thing is not singed, but definitely crinkly, and you know, it's changed his personality, but it didn't burn. And so she's fully
Wow.
going through that trust and saying, no, it didn't burn, you know. So it's quite a testimonial. She's really helping out a lot of people and has for
Yeah.
years, and she's been really, you know, pushing out this work on social media and stuff. She's worked with the poor a lot. She's really, you know, took this whole thing like, oh, I signed with God and stuff. That's the loophole, right? You're Christian. She really took it to heart and has really taken it to heart. She's a matriarch herself. She has up a family. You know, she's really in her own way, you know, a matriarch over her own family. It'd be great to have her on here sometime, but she just did a
Yeah.
testimonial. Look for it to go up on our channel. Uh, you know, Amy, who does all my tech stuff, she's kind of going to be, you know, delayed on getting to that because she's doing all the stuff to change the prices, add the new courses, do all that stuff for this big March 1st launch. So she's kind of focused on that. But Dee Dee's testimonial will be going up, so I want to let everybody know that. She couldn't make pilgrimage because she's watching over little ones and running a family, and she couldn't be here. So I was like, I understand that. How about an updated testimonial? Consider that your pilgrimage, and let's get you closer to God. So that's what she done, and it's like fireproof trust. So
Yeah,
I wanted to mention that too is on my list.
that is awesome.
It is. It is.
We've got one, the real Blackula. Liberty Aid Academy. Can a person or business entity be the trustee of the church trust? Can the trustee and is the trustee public record?
That's a good question. It is possible. I just don't recommend it because you don't want to mix up a taxable entity like a person, an LLC, or something like that with this entity. And there's really no reason to do it. You see what I'm saying? Because those other entities, you're not going to use them. Like an LLC, you're just simply not going to use it anymore. You're going to open up a trust, open up a bank account. That's going to be, oh, I need a payment gateway. I need to use Stripe, PayPal, Shopify, whatever. That's how I get paid. Well, you're still going to do that. You're just going to use the trust and its EIN to do it. That's going to replace it. In other words, it's a back end thing that your clients aren't going to know. You see, to say you got a website, you got a way you interact with people for whatever business you have. That's all going to stay exactly the same. Nothing is going to change. Only thing is going to change is your bank account and your payment gateway. That's going to go under the trust. That's all. That's all. None of the rest of the stuff that kind of relationship doesn't have to happen with ownership and stuff like that. It doesn't have to happen, and you don't want it to happen. You don't mix them up. So let's say you get to have, oh well, yeah, but I need a license. Go watch Roxy's testimonial from 2 weeks ago. She has a big business. She's running all that stuff. She has her license under a person, you know what I'm saying, or under LLC or whatever. But her payment gateway, where people make payments, it goes into the trust. You see what I'm saying? So she's still not reporting taxes, not paying taxes. People are just paying into the trust directly. You see, that's it. That's how you do it. It's really simple.
And if I listened properly, she has government contracts. She's actually paid by the government
Massive,
for her
massive.
business, and so I thought that was even more brilliant. So
It's
um,
Sebastian. She has, this very difficult to get status at contractors who want to, apply for government contracts. She got that status. You should really go listen to it because
yeah,
she's, it's a testimonial, but it's also in detail. She names her, her status that she saw. She's like, I'm the first white woman ever to get this status, and they do huge multi-million contracts. She's site work, as we used to call it in construction industry. Like, I think they're, it's not their only source, but like for example, one thing they do is like if there's a like a landfill, they'll do complete, restoration of the property, based on the government specs and process. And, you get paid every 30 days, I think, usually in that. And so she fits all that,
right,
so, if you could do it through that with these heavy government contracts, you could do it in any other process as well.
yeah.
So,
Mrs. C. Lee, regarding address, what do homeless people use? If I don't want my address of the place I sleep at night, what's the best to use as a permanent address?
well, there's, how, like, before you get the trust, you're like, I'm trying to hide my money. I'm trying to hide myself. I'm trying to like stay off the radar and all that stuff. That's gone. This
Hmm.
is about convenience. So you need a physical address for the trust, because you might get something in the mail or something like that. Not from the IRS and stuff, but let's say you start using the trust out there, you're going to get a credit card for the trust. So it's easiest if it goes to the physical address. So there's no reason to hide this anymore or anything like that. Everybody has some weird process they use. Like I used to use a new nonprofit every year to run my website and stuff. I'll just start a new one, and I was homeless at the time, so I understand this thinking. You know what I'm saying? I also used to use like Irish brought up, get rid of your debt and so on. I used to use like this homeless shelter that many years ago. This homeless shelter that would help you out with your processes and stuff. Oh, you could use our address to get an EBT card. I just use their address to do all my legal actions.
Mhm.
I guess the creditors and so on. That's one option, but I'm trying to say you got to sort of change your programming and your thinking, you know what I'm saying, to see that, you're trying to do this as a convenience thing, and any physical address that's convenient to you is fine. Okay. Not a PO box, physical address. So you can use the one where you stay. It is possible to do that. And it's not going to be any contradiction for any of the processes that you're going to use. Oh, I need to get my EBT to her. No, you're just like, I'm homeless, but but I thought you don't have a home. You're like, yeah, I am homeless, but someone allows me to use this address. That's
Mhm.
all. That's all you say. So there isn't a contradiction that's going to upset any apple cart out there as far as using a particular address. All right. So try and let that go. I know it takes a minute. We're all letting go our programming. Just kind of let that go. Use the address that's most convenient to you.
Got it. Daily Bread Ministry Trust. Next after convention is integrated auxiliaries as the tax
Yeah,
code.
yeah.
It
I've
is.
been hearing. I've been hearing. I'm making a testimonial on you, Daily Bread Ministry Trust. I hear you're out there selling my trust and breaking my
Oh,
copyrights. That's what I hear, Daily Bread. Why don't you write us an email at contact@liberty8academy.org and explain that you're not doing that and show us some proof, because I got some proof sent to me that you're maybe stealing our copyrights and so on. I'm not saying you are, but I haven't fully investigated you yet. But I got a whistleblower that I trust that has explained that you are doing that. So I hope you're not. I hope you're not. I hope you don't get on my testimonial list, on the backstabber list. I hope you're not. I hope you're not, because also this question sounds like you're a backstabber. It sounds like that. You see, because it doesn't really matter what integrated auxiliary means. Who cares? You're not falling under that. You see what I'm saying? So you're not falling under that. That's not a question. That's a church item, right? An integrated auxiliary of a church. You see what I'm saying? That relates to the church part of the code.
right.
Churches and their integrated auxiliaries. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
Uh,
We're working off the convention side, right?
Yes. Or if you're actually, going under a church name of a trust, use a Christian trust, you're going under the church. You see what I'm saying? It could be integrated auxiliary that you're a parsonage or whatever. That's fine. It could be integrated auxiliary that you're falling under the parsonage. So maybe you don't mean that as a backstep. Maybe you don't. Like I said, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what I hear. So integrated auxiliary. What's an integrated auxiliary? I'll get into it. Uh, it means, yeah,
That's the one. Same one, same question. You're just going back to that. What is an
yeah.
integrated auxiliary?
So an integrated auxiliary can be like a parsonage, because let's say you have a home. You know what I mean? And you want to get tax exempt status for real estate. An integrated auxiliary is something your convention I signed with Jesus Christ. So, okay, I need a roof over my head. You know what I'm saying? And you're a minister. You're physically existing in this vessel, and you return to sender. Now this vessel and everything I own goes into trust, and I'm with Jesus Christ. And so an integrated auxiliary is something like a parsonage. A parsonage meaning a home, because hey, you got to live in a home because we need a roof over our head. We need to eat food. We're in a body. That's just the way it is. So when you're applying for tax exemption, for real estate tax exemption, that's fine to go under the integrated auxiliaries, and explain you're a parsonage, right? I'm not a church. We don't hold services here, but I am a Christian minister. And so you see, that's the way you would
Mhm.
go with the application for an example, real estate tax exemption. So It's a good question. It's fine. Uh, and
I think this is a follow up to that. And instead of going back to work for money, offering services through the convention or integrated auxiliaries builds a network of community of the church. And it's a great business plan for credit. So I think he's trying to build credit off that.
yeah. Um, I, yeah, I don't understand what that means though. But yes, offering services like, I offer particular services to people. Anything, however you would serve, whatever your thing is. Like, let's use the other guy that's sitting here, Tim, helps people do these videos and so on. He gets, paid for his services. So, it's you can use this language to do it, but Tim just has a bank account that's under the trust. If someone sends him money, he has a payment gateway, and it goes boop, right into the trust account. That's,
Right.
so your words match the actions of, say, what I do, what Tim does, what Irish Lord would be doing, what Roxy does, what anyone does. You have however you get paid go directly into the trust. For people that are, quote, independent contractors out there have to fill out a W-9. You'll say, oh, this is a trust name, this is a trust address, and everything. You get a payment from whoever, goes directly into the trust. So that's how you provide those services. That language is fine. Yes, Daily Bread Ministries. That is, yes, yeah. That's, but those words are that you're saying are usually particular to an application that you want to have approved, like real estate tax exemption. Otherwise, those words are kind of for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Uh, but building a network and so on. That's really, we have a forum, and so the network of what you're trying to do is build knowledge, from, oh, these are what I can do with this trust. So we really kind of have a network for people under uh a forum as far as knowledge. But then let's say uh I've had to take it down, our affiliate program, unfortunately, because everyone wanted to be like, "Oh, I'm an affiliate. Give me my first trust for a discount." It's like so many people tried that. I'm like, "Okay, well, thanks for wrecking it for the people that are actually out there helping me as an actual affiliate." Uh, so it is possible to build like a network kind of like that. Like, oh, these affiliates would be out there. Maybe they're helping sell whatever your service is, and you give an affiliate, and then we had a link, and so on. You would pay directly into their trust. So you would make sure you have a tracking program so that when you got paid for your service, then you would have paid those affiliates out for that. That's an example of building a network using the trust, making sure they use the trust, right? Because they got a trust, like they bought a trust. So it's like, oh, okay. And the person as your affiliate in the network is using a trust. So they would get, you get paid through your payment gateway. You're like, oh, you tracked the affiliate. So then later at some point, we would pay monthly. You would pay that affiliate, okay, into your trust. So yes, that's like an application of that. So it is possible to build a network, like you were saying, and that's how you would do it. Yes.
Excellent. Mark is here. He says, "Hey Jack, can Social Security be sent payments to the trust account?"
100%. Yes, I do the same myself. There's a gateway with the I with Social Security, right? And you log in with ID Me or whatever, right? You log in, and then you're in your thing, and one of the questions is, oh, where do you want to get paid? Where do we send a direct deposit from Social Security? And you put in, account number, routing number. So you'll open your trust. Oh, I got it. My trust bank account is open. What?
Right.
And then you would log into Social Security, and you put that new account number, a routing number in there, and then directly the trust gets paid like that. Good question. That's what I do. It
Excellent.
works for everyone. Been working for years. And a good thing is, let me bring up one thing before we get into this. A good thing is, you can get started getting paid Social Security payments at age 62, but at age 65, let's say you're under the quote, like, the maximum minimum payment. Then at age 65, your person, right? It's not you. Your person is getting these Social Security payments. That corporation, the straw man, the person, whatever. Then at 65, you can become fully disabled, meaning you could, like, for example, real world example, like, because I was not really into paying taxes over my lifetime, the Social Security payment that my person gets is $300. It's not that much. That's
Yeah.
how much it gets. But and I started at age 62, and so at age 65, I could just click a few buttons and be like, I'm fully disabled. My person is fully disabled, right? And so the payments will go up to like $1,000 a month. So that's a little hack for people to do under Social Security. I had a couple years ago, before my person started taking these payments, I had someone come on here that was married, and they were interacting with me on my live show, and they got the trust, right? And so they were way under the minimum payment like I was. So they both, husband and wife, moved up to like a couple thousand from a couple hundred. So, for them, it was a really meaningful financial change in their life. So, for some people, it could really help them out. That hack I just mentioned. So, sorry to interrupt, but we could go back
No,
to that.
that's all right. That's good info. Is there a way to search for the trust name I want to register so I can make sure it's not taken?
No, and you don't have to do that because it's not about registering to get a name like that. It's okay if there are other trusts registered. What happens is, first of all, I will answer your question directly. Register means, registering at the Secretary of State in some state. So anyone can look up a name on any Secretary of State of any business. You could literally, there's a search bar on every Secretary of State. You could go, oh, let's see if somebody has this trust name. Uh, but you're not really talking about register, I don't think. What you're talking about is, can I search a name to see if I'll get an EIN, you know, successfully for my trust? And you don't really have to do that either, because what happens is, because a lot of people have used like my first name trust, Christian Ministries Trust, and I heard one time, hey, they would have given me an EIN for Christian Ministries Trust, because a lot of people use that particular name. And so they weren't giving out more EINs for it. So what happens is the IRS just doesn't give an EIN if it happens. You know what I mean? If you take a name that a lot of other people have used it, and it's going to be more than one. It's not like there's going to be one Christian Ministries Trust, and it might be, okay, there's several in a particular state, so people might confuse which Christian Ministry Trust is which. The IRS has rules on that internally, and so it's more like they just won't let you do it when you go to get the EIN. So if you get the EIN, you're in. That's it. And if you're given the EIN for a trust, a Secretary of State's going to register it if they have a process. They're going to register because you got an EIN. So they're like, oh, okay. Because the Secretary of State understands the IRS has this, blocking process of, if there are too many names of a particular trust, they block over on getting the EIN. So they don't really worry about it at Secretary of State. Because, registered for registering a trusted Secretary of State doesn't only have name and EIN, it has address, and who the trustees are and stuff. So there are other data points that differentiate, which trust is what that's registered, not just the name. You see his name, address, and so on. So if someone went to register, they're like, oh, I want to get in touch with, Christian Ministries Trust. I want it to be John McKeag. Oh, there are two here. Well, oh, someone else is a trustee. That's John McKeag is trustee of this one. So that's the one I meant. That's the information I need. That's and who's looking that up when you register at Secretary of State? A creditor. You're filling out an application for credit, a credit card, something like that. They go look it up. Oh, there's your trust name. There's you're a trustee. There's the address. It all matches. So you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If they allow the EIN, they're going to allow a registration. So Not really a concern. You just try and get the EIN if they allow it. That's it. That's the only process. If they allow the EIN, you're good. You just do the rest of it. Good question. Okay.
Miss Seeley's, what's the date? Was that testimonial? I think it was 2 weeks ago. I think they're talking about Roxy's, which was 2 weeks ago. Right here on
Yeah.
the live. If you look at the live YouTube channel, which we're watching now, 2 weeks ago, she jumped in the show just like Irish Lord did tonight, and gave a great testimonial. So that's right
And
there.
I changed the name of that particular YouTube video to Roxy Wright testimonial. You know what I mean? You had another name, but I was like, oh, oh my god, this has a new name since she come on. So she's easy to search to see which one it is. Good question.
Let's see. Mr. Trust has used DD saying Irish Lord is back.
Yeah, isn't that great, Dee Dee? And Dee Dee's back too. Your testimonial is going up. So, well, thank you.
And he's back. I'm glad to get Jack's new series, Backstabbers. Thank you. I'm real. Very good.
She's super real. This Dee Dee is super real. You know, all the ladies out there looking over your family, be it a great matriarch, and do whatever comes up. Really, kudos to Dee Dee, kudos to Roxy and the other women out there, and the other guys, of course, everyone doing this work.
I will give a testimonial for Dee Dee that I'd go into the classroom. I read a lot of comments, and she makes comments on almost every post. She has a suggestion on every one, and then of course you do as well. So the two of you have a conversation in the comments about someone else's question. It's really very thorough and engaging classroom. So good stuff. G Brown, good evening, Jack and Irish. I got the trust 2 weeks ago. Haven't established my trust yet, but I'm excited to begin. Just need to start. Any advice? Yes,
Just start. And
Yeah.
listen. You're like, what should I name my trust? First, last name trust. Just do that one. You got ID. And then make a list of, first you're going to your bank, wherever you bank, that one or two banks that you bank at. That's where you're going first to open a bank account with your trust. And then go into the classroom, right? Go into our private forum and hit the, opening a bank account. See all the lists of the name of banks to go to and make a list of like 10 banks, some online, some offline, because you want two places. You're going to go to the first place. They're like, no, we don't do that here. They're trying to dissuade you, discourage you from doing this, and don't let them do that. You're just be like, oh, okay, wait, I'm going to go to the next bank, go to the next one, go to the next one. Soon you have two open. You're like, this works. So just do it. You know what I mean? Just open them two bank accounts. Just focus on that first, last name, trust. Use your home address. It's really convenient. Just do that. Get the EIN. Get it notarized. Go to your bank account appointments. Just do it. Do that part, and then you're like, "Whoa, I'm over it." You know what I mean? Like you got it open. As soon as you do that, all the weight falls off your shoulder of like, I don't know if this is real. What? Just because we have so many testimonials. Here we are every week, but just do that and get over that. Your bank account's open. It's all real. And then the rest will fall like dominoes after that at your schedule, at your convenience. We appreciate you the support, but listen. I'm here so people do this. You know what I mean? I'm not just trying to get, oh, hey, I'm at your school. You got a fee. I support you. No. Why are you doing this? Okay, so do it quickly. Get the bank account open. Hey, my money's moved over. Got the debit card. Oh my God, the debit card works. Yes, I want you to have that moment. All right, so just do it. Jump in and do it. That's all. It doesn't take long. Okay.
And Mark is adding, hi, Jack, does it matter which bank one does the trust? I've heard that some banks don't do trust like yours.
It's true. Some, and even within some banks, it's like a branch, doesn't sort of have someone that's a trust expert there, and they'd be like, we don't do this. I've gone to another branch. They're like, oh, nice to have you, sir. Yeah, here we go. It might be a branch of a bank. So it doesn't matter at all. It only matters if they open a bank account. So use where you bank. They already know you. You're already in the system. Use that. And then, like I said, go into the classroom if you like. Who does it? But I like do Google, right? Where the banks around me, look at Google Maps. Okay, who's nearby me? And just go there. We have some online bank options like Schwab, which
Yep,
is also
that's
investments
what I have.
too. So, yeah, Tim has one. I have one for
Yep.
there. So, just make a list, you know what I mean? And then just go do it. Don't feel discouraged or dissuaded by, oh, I didn't get one. And who cares? You know what I mean? Don't worry about that. There are plenty of banks that do this and they're happy to have your money and give you the service and all that. But kind of like it's not uncommon for the first bank to be like, oh no, you have they want to, mind control you away from this. Don't do that. Don't go for it. Just make it. That's why I say make a list and get 2 bank accounts open. And then they're like, oh, fine. You can, we know your program. You're going to get a bank account. So you might as well bank here. Okay, fine. And they just give it to you usually at that point if you've made a list because they're mind controllers. They're controlling your mind because they're reading your mind literally. So it's like, don't give them that power. Give them the power of, I'm getting this trust. You got a list. You're going to go do it. You're going to get it. And so they're like, okay, fine, bank here, whatever. All right. Nice to have you. Here's your debit card. So good question.
Eric in the house tonight. Will this be a business or personal account, or is the trust account its own category?
It doesn't matter is the answer to that question. See what happens when you, and I give this advice in the course, Eric. A good question. I give this advice where you're, in the video and I'm training you in there how to get a bank account and stuff. It really doesn't matter because that's a bank this or like services, right? Like, oh, if you have a business account, you get this many checks a month and for free and blah blah blah. They got a little list of services. What's a
Mhm.
business and personal? Uh, but the IRS gives this 501c3 status, not a bank. So it only matters if the money goes into the bank account and out of bank account. Doesn't matter anything else. It doesn't matter what the bank calls it, business or personal. But they do have this, they're training their frontliners out there, the bank account openers, right? To maybe not give you a bank account because they're like, this is supposed to be for the wealthy elite. This isn't for you little, peons that we, treat as our little slaves out there. So they have a frontline question for their, bank account openers. And they're like, is this a business or a personal account? And you just go, personal, because it doesn't matter. So you go, oh, personal. What do you mean, business? No, personal account. Business? No. And they're like, okay, fine. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like a little filter they have if they ask that question. Because I used to answer it when I first started this, like, I don't know, what are your services? It doesn't really, I don't care whether it's what you call it. And they're like, he, huh.
Mhm.
You don't want to raise any red flag. That's why first name of your trust is, I recommend first and last name that's on your ID, trust. Hey, I got an ID. I'm just hoping you trust. You don't want to raise any red flags. You're just like, open the account, get the debit card, end of story. That was it. So if they ask the question, you just say, personal. Doesn't matter whether you're doing business under a quote personal account or it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter at all. So I just if you get asked that question, I just go, personal. What do you mean? Like it's just a trust. I'm just here open this, for my children and my legacy or whatever. What do you mean? Business? No. They're like, oh, okay. Yeah, we got you. You're fine then. Okay. You know. So you just hop over their little mind control fence like that, and then you're in the game. But good question.
Daily Bread, when you do the step of the Department of Revenue with the state, online banking is what we're checking in the boxes off the application. How easy is it to online bank with a trust entity?
It's by bank. Like
Yeah.
Schwab is really freaking easy. You know what I mean? You just click, click, click. You fill out the paperwork because Schwab never seems to block anyone ever. So it's not that it's hard necessarily to use this trust with the online bank account. It's just some particular online banks and stuff use trust as some don't. Basically, that's how it is. So it's not like that. That's why I recommend people get in the online classroom, our private forum. and look in there. Oh, well, hey, what have people done that have been online? But if you see an online bank, you just be like, oh, I want to bank with them. You just fill out the application, and that's it. They either say
Mhm.
yes or no. That's all.
And Mrs. C. Lee saying Alley Bank is an online and super easy.
Yeah, that's a big bank, and they do a lot of lending and stuff. So agreed, agreed. I haven't done Ally myself, but a lot of people have given me exactly this feedback that she has. Piece of cake doing it. So it really just matters which particular one it is. So
Excellent. All right, very good. One more coming in, and crypto friendly as well. Oh, crypto friendly too. Wow, definitely
Ally
have to check that out.
further. Cool. And we have, that's a whole little section on its own on our private forum. I'm not like super into crypto. I did like the big one. I can't remember what it is right now, honestly. Years ago, I'm like, look, let me prove to you that you can get a crypto account in a name of trust, but I'm not really into that. But a lot of people are into that. Like Alan's like, boo, and then other people are like, I got these six crypto accounts, and it's like, click, 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 all these lists of like for the people that are really into that, this trust works great. And
Yeah,
you want to combine it with a bank and so on. So good you have that information. Ally Bank is good for that if you have crypto. Thank you for that, Mrs. Seeley. Appreciate that.
excellent. Well, that seems like the end of the questions. There is there anything else you want to, or let me do this, Jack. We'll just show this off because this is coming to the end, folks. Right
It
here.
is. It is.
Uh,
Thank you. This is the last little thing I need on my list to talk about. March 1st, prices are going up. We're going to have more courses in the bundle here. But instead of being $14.97, it's going to be $34.97. There are going to be more courses in there. So, I really advise, save the money and do an upgrade. Or if you really want to support us, fine, get us at the new course
yeah,
fees and stuff. We'd appreciate it either way you want to go. But let's say you have an older, hey, I got the trust a while ago. We'll have an upgrade fee for you, and it's lower if you do a testimonial. And if you like, hey, I got your bundle, McKeag Mastery bundle, some time ago, we'll have a smaller fee for you, and then an even smaller fee if you do a testimonial. So, we could upgrade whomever out there that wants. We're going to have 6 new courses that go in here. Like, Irish Lord was just saying, hey, this our debt forgiveness stuff, also called personal accounting. That's going to be in here. That's going to be one of the new courses. You want to get anything off your credit report? We're going to have that in there, and a list of other things. So, wait for March 1st if you want, or upgrade. Get in now and then upgrade when we get the new courses. Either option is available to you. It's going to be a slightly smaller fee if you jump in now beforehand. Okay. So thanks for bringing this up. And the reason Tim was bringing that up, because this is an hour show. We got another thing Tim has got to do, and I got some other things to do myself. So thank you for bringing this up at the end of the show. March 1st, new prices for the courses. Like, for example, the trust is going to move from $9.97 to $19.97. Okay. So, I always recommend the bundle because, yeah, it's the trust, you got it open, but then what do you do with it? That's all the rest of the courses, you see, and you get the classroom, the private forum, and all that. So, you really want to get the bundle because that's everything, all my work, how to do everything. That's really what you want, everyone. But I understand some people jump in at just getting the trust. It's going to change your life forever, just the trust. But then, what do you do with it? You see what I'm saying? That's what all the other courses are for. All right.
excellent. Very good. Well, then we'll be back next week, and next week then it'll only be hours left because
Ah,
I think we get one
people,
more show in
people,
February next week, and then that's it. I think the first is
come
on next
on,
Friday.
people.
So
I'm trying to help you out. I've been doing this work for now over 10 years, since 2012. Okay, here I am. You know, everything I do is legal. There's nothing like losing mind control. Come on, look at all the testimonials. Go have a look before next week. Jump in, get it at the lower price point, become like one of the smartest people out there, like the wealthy elite. Ha ha, I gotta trust, fooled you, government. Ha ha, I'm over the fence. Yes, Join the club. All right, please, people. Tim, thank you so much for hosting this. Thanks for making it so professional. Without you, this would be just me, blah blah blah. Irish Lord, come on. It's great to get these testimonials. I really 2 weeks ago, man, if you haven't seen Roxy Ray's testimonial, get ready to have your mind and heart blown. Okay, please, people, watch that.
Excellent stuff. All right, Jack. Have a great safe travels today. Enjoy your week, and we'll do it again next week.
See you next week, Tim. See you next week, everyone. Thank you, Tim.
Good night.